Well, bus employer associations say they are looking for a speedy resolution to the ongoing national bus strike. This after negotiations deadlocked last week. The employer has denied claims by unions that they are not willing to come to the party. This comes as unions have now vowed to intensify their strike with a planned national shutdown next Wednesday. To talk to us more about the employers' position, we have on the line Meshack Ramela from the Bus Employers Association. He joins us now on the SABC News Desk. Good afternoon, Meshack. We want to understand your position currently on these negotiations and tell us why talks with unions have deadlocked at this point and why we're now at this point of an impasse.
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your listeners and viewers, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to indicate our side of the story. Well, firstly, it's important to take note that these negotiations happen in a backdrop of a slow or no economic growth. The economy that in various sectors is shedding jobs, shedding employees. As we speak now, one of the employers is in a facilitated process with some of the unions on reducing about 300 to 350 workers. This happens before this current increase that is being negotiated comes into effect. Now, why there is the impasse is continuing and labor has called on strike, it has really taken us by surprise. Because the CCMA facilitated process happened in a very cordial atmosphere, and we thought there was going to be agreement at the end, and we still believe there will be agreement. At the end of the facilitated process, employers had moved from their 7% and 7% position, and they had offered 8% for 2018 and 8.5% for 2019. And that all allowances that were on the table for negotiations would also increase by that percentage. Now, obviously, the unions are adamant. They demand a 9% increase for 2019. And 9.5 for 2018, and 9% for 2019. Now, given the economic scenario that they have depicted, the majority of the employers find it difficult to meet those demands. They have already exceeded the mandate that were given. So that is generally, in a nutshell, the situation that the country is faced with.
Meshack, we just want to understand how willing you are to resolve this impasse at this point. Employers say 8% 2018, 8.5% 2019. Unions standing firm that they want 9% by 2019. You must have some figure in mind.
Well, it's from your perspective, we must have a figure in mind. But remember, as I indicated, the problem that we also facing is that the commuter transport service has had a decline of subsidies from government from 2008. As we stand this year, government can only improve on the subsidies by 3.4%. And the offer on the table is already 5%, far above that. And the government's message generally to the country, to everybody, is that this year is not a period for high settlements. And this industry, unlike others, over the past years has always been offered generous increases that were about 3% above the inflation rate. But for this year, they cannot. If you take statistics, that the entire employees over the last 14 years, they would have been increased by 1.8%, but this industry has performed far above that throughout the years. And this year, the employers have tried to explain to labor leaders that those positions cannot be met for this year.
All right, Meshack, VAT has gone up, petrol and food prices have escalated. It's a difficult time for everybody, including workers, of course. But when it comes to the workers' psyche right now, they feel that employers are focusing only on profit margins and not the physical strain that they have to endure during the long shifts, and the question of night shift and subsistence allowances coming very much to the fore. Can you just give us some details on progress there, please?
Well, remember the fuel price and the fuel levy have also increased. That apart from the close to 40% that goes towards labor costs, fuel and other costs also have gone up for the employers. They are not that heartless. On the issue of night shift allowance, employers have said to labor, let's have a task team to be able to look that with a view to see what solution can be found, because the 5 hours that they want added would be very expensive for the employers to absorb.
Meshack, very quickly, we are running...
Yes. On the issue of SNT, there is a principled agreement that SNT would increase by ATB, that would be agreed upon. So the demand as Labour had wanted, they've modified on that. We appreciate that position from their side.
And on the issue of paying dual drivers, Meshack, it's always been a very contentious one. Why has there been such resistance?
This industry is on a 45-hour week, which on a monthly basis is 195 hours. Both drivers that are on those long-haul shifts are paid the 195 hours due for them for the month, unless they are absent from work. Now, the demand basically is pay more than I'm working for. But it's not that during the duration that this driver is not working, he doesn't earn anything. If there's overtime to be paid, employers pay overtime. For the time that he sits in readiness, you can drive. SNT in terms of what is called meal allowance also applies to that. So why we put it in a basket to say, let's talk about it, was for us to understand where the misunderstanding is. It's possible companies outside of the employer organizations that are in touch with the unions are not implementing it correctly. So that then there is generalization that employees are not being paid. But they are properly paid. They are paid their normal working hours for the duration of the trip.
Meshack Ramela, the spokesperson for the Bus Employees Association, joining us on the line there from Johannesburg. Let's move on.